Welcome to the first sheet that you're going to fill out, which is the category sheet. You want to fill this sheet out to the best of your abilities and as much as possible from the get-go, just to keep all of your other sheets organized, and you'll see why. Like I had mentioned in the first video, all of your instructions are going to be in the top left-hand corner here when you click on this daisy. So your guidelines. So you can only fill in the cells that are in the light blue color and leave everything else untouched. Everything here, this is the light blue. You'll get used to that color. Those are the only cells that you are allowed to fill in. You can feel free to delete any of the text from the unused cells highlighted in the light blue color under the category column. This will help with organization of the other sheets, so we'll get to that. Do not delete any columns or rows. Please don't do that in any of the sheets. And then for formatting purposes, it is best if all categories you fill in are in all uppercase letters. This is because these are all going to be titles for you. So let's get started with the setup. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change all of the numbered expenses under the category column to a business expense that makes sense for our business. These are the number expenses here. You have 50 rows that you can enter your expenses into. What I like to do is I actually like to delete all of these so that in the other sheets we don't have those titles coming up for us, and they'll just be blank, and we'll start with a clean slate here. For an example, our first category is going to be rent. We can add a few more here. As you see, when we change the category, it automatically updates to the cream color. Let's try insurance, bank fees. These are all expenses that would show up on your bank account, anything that is coming out of your bank account. Now we're going to go back up to the daisy. This just explains what the categories mean. So now we're going to fill in the subcategory cells. You do not have to fill these in if they are not applicable, but they are here for your help. So if you have different companies that you pay different kinds of rent to, it's easier to keep those organized. So you can put company 1 and then company 2 and so on and so forth. But again, if you only have 2 or you only have 1 company, then that's all you need to fill in, and you can leave the rest of them blank. Same goes for insurance, bank fees, anything else you can think of there. For your inventory, I personally like to separate mine by what I buy wholesale, and I also have products that I sell by consignment. You can put your payroll company, or if you want to be very specific, you can separate all of your employees, add your different loans. Maybe you're doing Facebook marketing, something with your socials. Here are some examples of some places where you might get your supplies. Again, you want everything to be as specific as possible. It just helps you with your organization, and as much as you can think of right off the bat will help you with your other sheets. So we'll go back up to the daisy now that we've filled in our subcategories, and now we will go down into our income here. Again, I personally like to eliminate all of those there so that it makes my other sheets look more clean. Just like with any of the categories above, you're going to put all of your subcategories, so all your different sources of income. It's good to keep this all separate, and then you'll see later how this will automatically all add up. And then we're going to do the same with the taxes here. So I'm going to erase all of those. And then it's very important that your first 2 taxes here under column C and D are your sales taxes that you have to charge. For example, I'm in Manitoba, I have to charge GST, which is 5%, and PST, which is 7%. Some provinces in Canada only charge HST. So if you only collect HST, for example, you would want to put that under your subcategory 1. And then if you don't collect another kind of tax, you want to keep your subcategory 2 empty. If there are any other kinds of taxes that you spend and whatnot, then you can add those to the remaining categories from subcategory 3 to subcategory 10 here. But I would leave subcategory 2 blank, or if you're like me, I would put GST here and then PST under subcategory 2. So I'll leave it like that for now. We're making our way through our daisy here. Again, you can take all of your information and your instructions from here. We're essentially going to do the same thing under this vendors category. So again, I like to delete all of these here. And then these are your vendors. So if you're receiving any inventory and you want to keep track of where you're getting things from and where you are spending your money, then you want to put the vendors' names here. So let's use a few vendor examples that I use in my store. And you can fill up to 50 vendors. So there you have your categories page. Once you've filled in all the information you can always add, but try not to go back and change anything because that might mess up some of your sheets. So keep what you have here, and then you can always add to it afterwards. But try to get as much information as you can in there, and you're ready to move on to your next sheet.